2020. My name is Lynn with ColbeeLynnTarot, and I'm super excited to have you here. This is essentially a reading where we're going to gauge where you are currently for the month of November and just see where your energy is and any lessons that are happening or pretty much any messages that Spirit wants to bring forward to you at this current time. If you're interested in a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. Prices for all of that will also be linked. And I do have a Facebook group that if anybody is interested in following over on there, or my Instagram, at least social media of any kind, I will have those listed in the description box below as well. Another note, the extended version to this, so we're going to go about 15 minutes over here on YouTube, but the extended version to this is going to be over on Patreon. What it is you have a it's just a $5 subscription per month. You can cancel it anytime. Say there's, you'd rather get a coffee with that $5 than you would access to all these readings, but it's only $5 per month, no contract involved, and you get access to all of the extendeds for all 12 zodiac signs for, I think it's like a 30-day period that you have access to them. It could be even longer than that. I have to really I need to look into that more. So you can pay $5 a month flat to have access to all of the readings. And if you're familiar with your birth chart, then I think that that's where you'll really find it empowering to know which signs are within each placements and within your chart and how that influences you, your perceptions, your flow of life, like just karmic lessons. I mean, there's so much birth charts, it's unreal. But anyway, so if you don't resonate with the messages that come through for Gemini energy for the month of November, you can always check out your sun, moon, rising, Venus, North Node, all these other placements that those messages might resonate with you on a deeper level. So if this doesn't resonate, no shade, just go and check out your other signs because there might be a more prominent message for you there. So Patreon is a free app that you can download, and like I said again, it's $5 flat rate for all of the signs. So if you and your spouse are intrigued, then you both, like, just one person can have the $5 account, and you can both watch together, and you can do so there's ways to really be able to spread the love in that aspect with the memberships. But yeah, so I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. Please like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to see new videos as they are uploaded, and to just support me in general. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I know Geminis are pretty quick and to the point. You're an air sign, so no fluff here for you. Yeah, I hope this resonates, and like I said, this is going to go about 15 minutes. If you are interested in the extended, that link is also going to be below as well. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to start with your hero's journey. And it's interesting because I'm not going in any specific order with these signs. Like, as I upload them, I actually just wrote each sign on a little piece of paper, folded it up, put it in a bowl, and I just picked 3. And as I wrote them down, that's the order I went in, and Gemini was the 3rd one that I picked. And so it's interesting that I had 2 air signs come up, just because I was actually expecting more of like water energy to probably be more potent, but apparently there's some air signs out there that need some clarification on an aspect of their life or aspects of their life. So, I'm rolling with it. I really am. So, Gemini, let's see where you are within your hero's journey. What is the current energy for November 2020? Ooh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I've never gotten this card. I always get so excited when I get a new card because I'm like, because as you're learning, I'm learning. It's always fun. Okay, and I love repeating numbers. So if you're into 3 or 33, be on the lookout for that as well, because God speaks to us through numbers, through the clock, through, wherever, through road signs, through, it's you just pay attention. That's all I'm saying. All right, discover your superpower. Access 100% of your mojo. This quote's a little wordy, but if you can just hang tight, I'm going to get through this quickly. It says, Jacob Nordby says, If you ever meet someone brave and powerful enough to walk with you directly through your most unconscious wounds in shadow caves, someone with the stupefying courage to see through the chinks of your armor and then help you take it off, love them. Because they have done something for you which is impossible to do alone. They will show you the treasure you've been seeking all your life, and they can do this because they aren't afraid of your fear. That is beautiful. Oh my God. If you ever meet someone brave and powerful enough to walk with you directly through your most unconscious wounds and shadow caves. Oh my God, dude. This is all about, like, I mean, before I even get into the message, like, Jesus, this is like, if you're in a union like this, where, like, you know, there's a reciprocation of, like, compassion and camaraderie, I think is the word. You know, companionship, like, even if they're not perfect, like, I think this is like a beautiful message, just saying, like, if you have someone in your life that really, like, helps you grow and, like, you know, doesn't judge you for, like, the bad and the good, they just kind of have this, like, neutral energy of just acceptance and love for you, like, that is, like, truly a gem to be recognized and to really take stock in. Like, if you have someone that really just, you know, not saying they don't, like, necessarily, like, everyone needs to hear truth, you know, and sometimes that's not very easy for people to deliver. But, you know, so there are going to be moments of contrast for sure, like within an experience, you know, within a relationship, I guess, more so. But it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but that's kind of where I think this energy is talking about, you know, hold on to the fact that whether this is platonic or romantic or whatever, friendship, like, hold on to those that really do, like, hold space for you and your journey to, like, ascension and your journey to self-growth and your journey just to becoming a better version of who you are. Like, having and holding space for, you know, you might not necessarily be where you want to be, but, like, having people in your life that really supports you no matter what and see that you're trying and moving forward, and even though maybe you have imperfections, like, they still love you unconditionally. Like, those type of people, those are the ones that really should be, I think this is, like, you know, the relationships you should take stock in. And that's kind of been an interesting, it's been a similarity between that, like, that, the essence of that energy, like, filtering, like, what's good for you and what's not, like, that has been, like, very potent within all the readings. And it's interesting because I was not expecting to pick up on that so heavily, I guess. All right, so the message says, you are infinitely powerful, wise, strong, and blessed, yet you've only taken conscious ownership of about 5% of your natural inheritance. Without realizing it, most of your power has been relegated to your shadow cave. As a kid, you may have been shunned, teased, ostracized, or spanked for demonstrating certain behaviors or feelings. Consequently, you labeled those characteristics bad and deleted them from your playlist. But nothing is ever truly deleted. It's just disowned for a while and relegated to a cloud or cave. Eventually, these characteristics will break into dreams or enter our waking life at inopportune moments. At its core, every shadow is beautiful and useful. In fact, within your biggest, scariest shadow is your superpower in disguise. When anything has been cut off, escapes from your shadow cave, it will lunge forth with fangs if given the chance. Instead of trying to outrun it, quicken your transformation by standing still and exploring what is worthy and noble about these aspects of yourself. If you can't do this on your own, invite an ally to hold your hand and as you discover the beauty and usefulness of your shadow. As you do this, you will find your shadow is no longer a shadow, but mojo that can now empower your quest. Yeah, this is like embodying, like, all parts of yourself, like wholly loving yourself, like understanding that, yes, while, you know, it's kind of like when I tend to plants, you know, there's parts that die that were once beautiful about the flower that, you know, you have to, like, that's what pruning is. Like, you go and you prune the parts of the flower that have died off, or, you know, we're just taking nutrition from the other parts of the plant that actually are thriving, and, you know, it would be better served for the energy to go into the parts of the plant that are thriving and or are of use or are serving it at that point. So kind of the same thing within, like, our energy, our belief systems. all these things, like God really comes in, especially during this time of year with Scorpio season being death and rebirth. We just came out of Libra season, balancing of the scales of the mind. Like there's a real like karmic balance, that's at play, like the balancing of like everything in our life. Like we can't avoid that truth any longer, is what I feel a lot in these readings. And God has a special way of reminding us that, like, in order to balance our energies, we can't just always stay in the light. We have to embrace our shadow self. We have to embrace what it is that we consider ego. Because if we shun it, we don't fully accept ourselves, and we can't really manifest like true prosperity from the foundation of like not fully understanding who we are. Because here's the thing, when we just don't look at parts of ourselves, when we just are like, oh, okay, well, that's a part of myself I don't like, but I also don't want to really like have to dig too deep into it because it's just painful, it's still there. And it, like, when we manifest like our reality, when we manifest circumstances, everything, we manifest all of our being, not just a part of what we want, not just our desires. We manifest everything. So if there are parts of our experience that we still hold on to, or that hold on to us, or belief systems, or traumas, or whatever, and you're trying to like really manifest a life of like love and joy and compassion, well, all of these, this is where energy work comes in. Because if you're manifesting from a place of lack, or not really holding emotional depth, or like kind of being like closed off from the world, or like whatever it is that holds you from really like stepping into that more like godlike frequency, like you're gonna realize during this time that like you cannot hold on to these belief systems, these ways of thinking, these ways of being any longer, in order for you to ascend and really manifest what you really want, because you have to let go of parts of yourself that you don't want to continue manifesting anymore. Because that's the thing with plants. Like, it is like sometimes, like, when parts of the plant die off, it is kind of sad. You're like, oh, like, man, like, I didn't want that. But like, you have to kind of come to terms with it, because there's a reason for the season. There's a reason why things come to an end. There's a reason why there's the element of death in our lives, whether physical, emotional, spiritual, emotional. I don't know if I already said that, but girls, hush. Sorry. It's really important just to have balance, because once you see that truth through Libra season, it's really hard to avoid it, and that gets a little heavy. So, but being able to, so this is talking about like the shadow self. Like, if you're trying to balance your own energy, you're trying to really like become a more wholesome individual, or become more like, or try to love yourself more, or accept yourself more, or whatever, like however the divine is like working in your life right now, you're really gonna have to be okay with the parts of yourself that are associated with the dark, and the parts of yourself that are associated with the light. And the point is to refine these elements of yourself and let go of parts that don't serve you, and then realize that our parts that are of the ego that do serve you. Because it's not that we diminish the ego when we become spiritual, it's that we balance the ego in the higher self. We balance the elements and our divine nature. We balance. It's all about balance right now. It really is. That's what I'm feeling heavily right now, is that there's just a real need for understanding that you can't shun away a part of yourself. You can't like act like it's not there. You can't not tend to it, because then you're if you're just not accepting a part of yourself, you can't fully accept yourself. So therefore you can't fully accept others. You can't accept the situation that you're in. You can't accept, like, there's a level of acceptance that is unable to be embodied when you're like not fully like, when there's things that you're just avoiding. Like, you can't live a prosperous life. Like, you can't live a fulfilling life, because if you're not living in your authenticity, which is kind of owning like all parts of yourself, good, bad, whatever you want to call it, light, dark, like ego, higher self, whatever it's associated with, like, you have to love yourself for it. Like, you have to love yourself through, like, yes, like I said, refining energies. There's light and dark energies to everything. So it's really like choosing, like, because even in the ego, you can still work from the ego. If it's balanced, you can work from the ego for good. You know what I mean? Like fighting for justice, fighting for equality, fighting like, you know, staying in the fight, like staying in the ring kind of thing. Like that is like kind of like stemming from ego, but it's because your higher self has guided you to be the change. See what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a balance of the two. It's a balance of the ego and a balance of the higher self. Balance of God, balance of the physical reality that we live every day. So, all right, it says, and then really shadow work, that's huge in like the holistic field, because your shadow, like you really have to like see what's hidden in these realms of yourself, that, you know, the subconscious realm. Because that's what Scorpio energy is all about, is like going into the depths of the waters, depths of the oceans, depths of your like water is emotion in the tarot. It's the water is the element of your emotions, your intuition. So this is really about like you're being divinely guided through your intuition to really do some shadow work in order to step into like the fullness of who you are, the authenticity of who you are. So, dream symbol, shadow. Dreams of the shadow feature monsters, frightening scenarios, or people who rub you the wrong way. Even though these dreams trigger fear or anxiety in you, they come in service to your health, healing, and wholeness. I just said I was talking about wholeness. Your dreams have a no shadow left behind policy, and are helping you love all of you so you can have a whole souled experience. What did I just say? Oh my God. Okay. There's like, how many cards are in here? So I really don't remember each, like, I think there's 51, 52 cards. And like, I don't remember each individual, like, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever pulled this card, to be completely honest. It's so interesting when I pick up on energy and then it's affirmed through the words on the page. It's just amazing. Because honestly, like, you guys can't really see me, but like, I kind of just like, you know, I'm like, looking around my room and I'm just talking, kind of like, you know, I'm on FaceTime with a friend, and it's kind of, it was a little weird doing these readings at first because I'm like, okay, I'm not talking to anybody but the phone, but you know, but like, you know, you kind of get comfortable with it, and I'm just kind of looking around and I'm like, you know, feeling out this energy that I'm like thinking I'm experiencing, and then when I read these words, I'm like, holy shit, like this is amazing. It's amazing stuff, guys. Like this is just incredible, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to close this with, because I'm going a little bit over 15 minutes. I don't want to go past 20. I'm going to pull an animal spirit card, and then we're going to go over into your extended reading. And in the extended, we're going to cover the archangel messages that you have, the elemental tarot messages that you have, the Rider-Waite tarot messages that you have, and then some wisdom coming from your divine feminine and your divine masculine energies. So, but we're going to close out, like I said, with an animal spirit card. I love these decks. All right, that one might really want to come out, and that one did too. Both snakes too. Oh my God, that's weird. Oh my God. Okay, guys. Like, this stuff like blows my mind all the time. Really does. All right, so I'm being called to the Cobra first. So let's see. It's definitely a more ascended air energy. Pausing, waiting, the inner teacher. The cobra represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who've led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When in balance, a student of life, humble and wise. When out of balance, know-it-all, egocentric. To bring into balance, taking a class or studying. Love that. Yeah, the inner teacher, right? Like 33, like the number 3 is very like the Holy Trinity, like mind, like the connection between mind, body, and soul. And the inner teacher is all about like your intuition, about like, you know, God, like really trying to like work through you right now. The inner teacher arrives when you're ready. And if you're like really feeling called to like, you know, something more fulfilling in your life, like the inner teacher is here to show you the way. You just have to sit long enough within yourself through or with yourself through meditation, through journaling daily, through gratitude lists, through connecting with nature, you know, all these things, you have to just take time to consistently do that. And the messages and the lessons and all of that is within you. Like, a lot of times we look externally for these messages, but really all of this is within yourself. That's what the 33 is trying to, like, whenever I see 333, that's like divine interference, right? That's like, hey, like, there's a message here from the divine that is really being needed to, like, you need to resonate with this, you need to hear it, you need to something with it. Like, there's something that, like, you need to take stock in it, whatever that means to you. Because the divine is trying to really get your attention. Like, hey, this is like a part of your ascension process. Like, listen to me, this is the next step. And being humble enough to be, like, sometimes with a student, sometimes with a teacher. And there's an ever, like, we constantly, like, change. Like, 1 minute, like, you can feel like you know everything that morning, and then by the evening you've had a day where you just realize, holy shit, I need to humble myself, because, like, the universe is trying to teach me, hey, you're being a little bit of a know-it-all, and I'm showing you that you were never always the teacher. You were also the student. There is a duality in this, within this existence, okay? And it's beautiful, and you just need to surrender to it and stop fighting it and being a jerk, essentially. Because the wisdom is within inside you, and you just have to sit long enough, and if you don't, there's going to be a discord, right? So the snake, which is interesting because this is also like O's, zeros, you know, this infinite, the circle, there is no ending or beginning. So that is spirit within the pinnacles, which is what this is, the element of earth energy, which is pinnacles in the tarot deck. Let me see. I really hope my dog is not tearing things up. Let me check, because she got in trouble earlier for doing bad things. Are you behaving? Hey, are you behaving? Oh, I don't want you in here if you're gonna be going crazy. You better be behaving. I gotta finish this up. Behave. Sorry, guys. She was my little, I have a 7-month-old, I can't even talk. I have a 7-month-old lab, and called her chewing on my furniture earlier, and that was not fun, so having to be a little bit more careful with them. All right, so I'm going to close this out with the snake card, okay? Oh my god, I'm already over 20 minutes. Sorry, guys. All right, guardian, unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, which means our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake, regardless of whether this image rings true for you. It's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within us. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it up from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there's no time to waste. Meditation teacher. Maybe that's what you need. Someone that's going to, like, really guide you to sit in your own divinity, because the messages are always unique to everyone, right? Like, the messages that you need are going to be different from the messages that I need, in a sense. Circumstances are all different, right? It might be the same energy, but the way that it's translated needs to be different for it's all subjective. Make haste. The snake card appears when there's no time to waste, and that means that you really need to, like, hey, spirit is really, like, how much more clear, like, spirits in this, spirits in everything, but, like, the inner teacher, you got 2 snakes. Like, there's definitely something that God is trying to tell you right now, like, discover your superpower, access 100% of your mojo, like, live in your authenticity. And how you're going to do that, I think, or how you need to do that, or how you're going to get closer to that, I think is going to be explained in the extended. So, Gemini, I hope, at least, if you're not going to meet me over in the extended, I hope you at least got something from this reading. I really hope you do join me over there, because I have a feeling it's going to be really good. I'm excited to get into it because I'm nosy. I like knowing what's going on. But yeah, this was beautiful. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Again, like, share, subscribe. And if I don't see you in the extended, I will see you next month for December's energy read. Bye, guys.